So, you want to know how to like ignite that spark of curiosity, huh?
It's a good question.
It is, whether we're talking about kids or students or even just ourselves, that excitement to learn, it's amazing. And we've got some great tips for you today. We're going to do a deep dive into how they work and how you can actually use them.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, let's face it, who couldn't use a little more curiosity in their life?
Right. Yeah. It's like a muscle, you know,
Hmm.
you got to keep using it or you lose it. And that's true for adults just as much as it is for kids.
So true. Okay, so let's get those curiosity muscles pumping. Tip number one, asking open-ended questions. Instead of the usual, did you have a good day at school? It's more like, what was the most interesting thing you did today? Why is that so important? Well, when you ask a question like that, like what was the most interesting, you're not just looking for a yes or a no. You're inviting them to really think about their day, to pick out something specific, and that helps them develop their critical thinking skills. It's really powerful.
It's almost like instead of just saying, you're so smart, when they get a good grade, you could be like, wow, you must have really challenged yourself to understand that. You must have worked hard.
Yes. That's a perfect example. You're shifting the focus away from just, natural ability to the process of learning.
That actually reminds me of this time my niece, she was asking me why the sky was blue.
Oh, I love that question.
And I tried to give her this whole explanation about light scattering. And she just stared at me and goes, but why is the light scattering? Kids,
Uh-huh.
they keep us on our toes. That's curiosity for you. And it actually brings us to our next tip, which is all about giving ourselves and children a variety of experiences.
That totally explains why I always feel so refreshed after a trip. It's like all those new sights, new sounds, new foods. My brain gets a total workout.
Exactly. You're flexing those cognitive flexibility muscles. That means like how your brain adapts,
Yeah.
it switches between different ideas. It's like cross training for your mind.
And it doesn't have to be some big expensive thing either. Even just trying a new restaurant or taking a different route home from work, those little things can be just as impactful.
100%. It's the little unexpected discoveries. It's finding novelty in the everyday routine.
Yeah.
And you know what goes hand in hand with that? Hands-on learning. That's next.
Ah, yes. The let them play in the mud approach to learning. Love it. But seriously, why is hands-on learning so powerful? What's the science behind it?
Okay, so when you actively engage with something, your brain's just like more switched on. You're not just sitting there, being talked at. You're
Oh.
building, creating, problem solving. You're using all your senses. So
Mm.
whether it's building a birdhouse with your kid or trying a new recipe together, those shared experiences create these strong pathways in the brain.
And all that exploration, it leads to questions. And that's where patience comes in, am I right? Because even the most patient parent, the most enthusiastic teacher, they're going to be tested at some point with all the why.
Oh, absolutely. It could be a lot sometimes. But here's the thing. Think about how you feel when you ask a genuine question and someone just brushes you off. It's not a good feeling, is it?
No, not at all.
It makes you feel like your questions don't matter, like you're not being heard.
Right.
So when we take the time to really listen to those questions, even if it's the 100th why that day, we're telling them, I see you, I hear you, and what you're curious about is important.
It's so validating.
It is. And that ties in perfectly with our final tip.
Yeah.
It's all about modeling curiosity. Because, at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words.
100%. You know how, like, when you see someone get really excited about something, it just makes you want to know more. It's like, what are they so happy about? I got to check this out.
That's it. That's social learning. We learn by watching the people around us, especially those we admire. So if you're a parent and you just learned some cool new fact, share it with your kid. If you're a teacher and you don't know the answer to a student's question, be excited about figuring it out together.
Show them that learning is a lifelong journey.
Yes. And it can be so much fun.
Absolutely. And it really seems like curiosity is contagious, doesn't it?
Totally.
So that leads us to this final thought. If curiosity really is contagious, how can we make our homes and classrooms and workplaces into environments where that love of learning can spread? What little sparks can we ignite today?
Ooh, that's a good one to think about.
It is, isn't it? Until next time.
See you next time.